Good evening, everyone, and a special welcome to those who are joining us for the first time. And it's great to have you with us. Tonight, we will continue with our study of the history of the church. We have taken up 650 years of the life of the church. Would you believe that? And we did that in two sessions so far. The first 300 years, we learned that the church was very much under persecution. It was in hiding. And then after that, it was liberated by, so to speak, by King or Emperor Constantine. And for the next 350 years, the world was pretty much Christianized until the barbarians took over the Roman Empire. They invaded the Roman Empire in the west, and then in the east, Islam started as and in the barbarians were practically uh, they practically conquered the whole of the Roman Empire in the west. But with God's hand, we all learned that they finally converted most of them to Christianity. Not so in the East. In the East, Islam were the ones converting the Christians by force. We all learned that. That's why the eastern part of the world was pretty much more Islam than Christian. So that's how the world was divided. The West being ruled by the barbarians that converted to Christianity, and the East being ruled by Islam. All right, and that includes the birthplace of the church, which is Jerusalem, as we know. And we will take up how we tried to recapture Jerusalem when we talk about the Crusades. Well, we learned that among the barbarians, their King Clovis married a Christian. That's why he was converted into Christianity. And then it was taken over. He was succeeded by King Attila. And he was so impressed with the Christian world and the Pope that he made the Pope the de facto ruler of central Italy. So that is where we are going to start tonight. We are going to focus more on the West, where the barbarians that invaded them have practically converted to Christianity. As we also learned last time that the barbarians were called the Franks or Francia, which is the largest barbarian empire in the West, in Western Europe, consisting now of what we call France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Germany. They were the barbarian empire before. So tonight, we are going to take up 500 more years. So we're accelerating. We started out with the first 300 years, then 350 years. Now we're accelerating to 500 years. And so far we were able to do that on time, right? Okay, so this is the subject for this evening. We have Christendom, Dark Ages of the Church, the Great Schism, and the Crusades. First, the birth of Christendom. After King Attila made the Pope the de facto ruler, uh, succeeding kings were very much united with Christianity. Now we have Charles Martel, a Frank prince, and he was crowned king of the Franks by a bishop sometime in 732 AD. Charles Mantel is the father of feudalism. You know, the feudalistic system, they would give, they practically gave a big part of his kingdom to the Pope, and he created what we call the papal states That is the feudalistic system. The Pope was the one in charge of all this papal state. And then sometime in 751 AD, Pippin the Short, who is the son of Charles Martel, was also crowned king of the Franks, also by a bishop. So you can see that they are really beholden to the bishops of the church. In return, the king created the papal states and allowed acquisition of vast properties of Italy. So the church actually owned vast properties in Italy. But the papacy developed its dependence on, of course, the rulers, now under Pippin the Short. The next episode is really very interesting because this is really what we consider as the birth of Christendom. In 800 AD, Charlemagne, I think most of us who are reading history are familiar with Charlemagne or Charles the Great. He was crowned this time as the emperor, not just by a bishop. Right there, he was crowned emperor by the Pope as the new emperor of the Roman Empire. This is Charlemagne. So this is really, truly the birth of Christendom, the height of Christendom, so to speak. Charlemagne actually conducted the affair where he practically united the church with the affairs of the state. But this is kind of a reverse situation with that of Constantine. If we review our history during the time of Constantine, Constantine as an emperor, as a Roman emperor, was very much in charge of both the civil and religious affairs. This time is the reverse situation. It's pretty much the church that is in charge of both civil and religious affairs, except that the church is completely dependent on the emperor for military assistance. So we have what we call